Welcome to Bonehead Weekly. So one of my favorite times of the year is coming up. And normally
it's Arbor Day again.
It's Arbor Day again. Plant a tree. So what we get is this grayish old.
Shit, I've been doing it wrong. I've been going to Ann Arbor, Michigan every year.
Right. Hold on.
It's boring.
Would you let me finish this?
No.
Grayish old mule dude who looks awful, has these terrible bags under his eyes. He has worse bags under his eyes than I do. OCD all over the place. Pretty sure he's on the spectrum. But Jarrod pulled out, and Jarrod's like, I think so, maybe. Instead,
did you come up with a better terminology than Jarrod pulled out?
I mean, he is unmanly. You think he'll ever listen to this shit, Catrina? No, he'll never love it.
We're gonna hope not.
If he listens to the first 2 minutes, this is all he's gonna get.
This is you can tell him later that I talked shit about him for the first 3 minutes because he didn't. I want to welcome to the show Catrina Hencye. So, Catrina, did I say it correctly?
Yeah.
But I mean, we've known each other for years, but there's never really any call for me to say your last name.
No.
So you've been on the show before. We did the show live from Ashland once when we did actual Chad's eating Kit Kats.
It's a milk tea Kit Kat.
That sounds awful. Is it?
Oh, it's fantastic.
I just don't believe that. Have you ever had a milk tea Kit Kat?
No, but I have had the strawberry Kit Kats, and those are pretty delicious.
Oh, well, we'll go to the world market all together and buy an array of Kit Kats. So, Catrina, I know you from Comic Con, Lexington Comic Con, and working at the Inner Geek. And I've actually probably known you now 5-6 years, but I feel like I've got to know you in the last 3 years. I know a little bit of your story, and we've talked about it before on the show, but what is your title?
I'm not sure what my title is.
What do you want to be called other than boss bitch?
For the long time, I just referred to myself as the gatekeeper because I was what stood between somebody getting in touch with Jarrod.
Yeah, you know what? That's probably true. That is probably still your job, even more so now because you're pretty much in charge of the convention, correct?
Yep. I fancy myself the regional manager for the Inner Geek, and then this year I took on a lot of the convention duties from Jarrod to give him a break.
From what? Drinking? All right, she's not going to insult him, and that's literally her.
Which was kind of funny because in the pre-interview, I believe, and let me write down my notes, you called him a honking dick nose. Is that what? Is that
honking dick nose? Yeah. And I got the image, Chad. Do you remember the old 40s cartoon with the little thing of
exactly
with the two legs? That's what I thought of when she called him a honking dick nose.
See, I got the things from Sesame Street that tap their nose.
Oh, there you go. Well, so I want to talk about a few things about the convention, but before we get started, I'm curious because if you're watching this on YouTube, behind you, it looks like you're at the Inner Geek, but you're not. You're at your house. What is that wall of Legos behind us?
It is a small portion of my Lego collection.
I didn't know you were into Legos. We never talked about your Lego obsession.
Yes, I have a Lego obsession. I do the cityscapes for the most part.
Really?
So like we start with Town Hall over here and we just go down the line, 50s Diner, Pet Shop. I'm currently waiting for a break to build the Disney Castle. So,
are you a Disney fan?
I am a Disney fan.
Yeah.
Well, told my husband if I survived the convention, I wanted to go to Disney World.
You've been before?
Yeah, but it's been a while.
Yeah, you need to go back. I think I'm going to go this year too. All right.
Yeah, we're going this year as well.
And by that way, I think I'm going in May. But that's beside
June.
So I need to beat all of you and go in like April.
Yeah, you will totally beat us all and go in April. We'll have a good time. So now there's another thing that I wanted to ask you about, and it's the comics, and you say they're 40s. So Chad, since you're a man, mansplain to Catrina the difference between Silver Age and Golden Age. And by that, what I want you to do is
she could actually explain it a lot better than I can.
That's the joke, fucker. That's the joke. So when is the 40s? Is that the Golden Age?
Yeah, you consider the 40s the Golden Age.
Yeah. So we're talking about Golden Age comics with harlots on them and guns and sex.
They're pretty popular.
What's your specialities? Tell me about those.
Okay, so for Golden Age comics, I do a lot of romance comics. You just can't beat a book where somebody's going to show up and call somebody a floozy on the cover.
By the way, I love saying floozy.
Me too. It's my favorite.
Hooker and floozy. And then neither one of them have anything to do with gender. Like I'll call a guy a floozy and a hooker. And nor does it really have anything to do with sex trafficking. I just love the name hooker.
Don't forget hussy.
Hussy. Oh, you floozy, you hussy.
Yeah.
Trollop.
Yes.
And all the guys are named Jarrod.
Or there's always a Dave in there somewhere too.
David and Jarrod. You floozy.
I grew up watching a lot of soap operas with my grandmother, and when I got into comics, you just can't look away from 40s, 50s, 60s romance comics. They're all
same thing.
Yeah, they all bring you back to watching General Hospital.
Okay, General Hospital. I grew up watching Days of Our Lives, and I was around that age when Marlena was actually possessed by a demon at one point.
Yes. So my grandmother watched all 3 soap operas from every station. She would record them in other rooms of the house, and she always watched the ABC ones. So I remember actually like caring about General Hospital, and she took the time to teach me.
That's commitment. Chad, did you watch any of those growing up?
I was a Days of Our Lives and is it Bold and the Beautiful, the one that had Jennifer Aniston's dad in it? Victor Kiriakis.
No. Victor Kiriakis is Days of Our Lives.
Yeah.
Okay, so whatever Jennifer Aniston's dad was, that's Bold and the Beautiful, though, right?
No, it's Days of Our Lives.
Okay.
Victor Kiriakis is Days of Our Lives. Why the fuck do I know this?
And why the hell do I know I watched Bold and the Beautiful. It was Bold and the Beautiful and Days of Our Lives. Because I'm going to when we're done talking about it. But yeah, I still Patch. I always rooted for Patch.
Patch is another one, but that's all Days of Our Lives. And
yeah, I know that's
bad guy was Stefano.
Oh, damn, Stefano.
Yeah.
Always coming back from the dead. Had to bring Stefano back. We're just here to talk about Lexington Comic Con and Catrina. Sorry, but I told you this would go easy and we take it easy on you. I do have a hardball question. You guys made it, and I'm going to post this weekend because we have another guest that we shot the other day, and I told him, I said, more than likely, we're going to work out something, and it's not that I'm bumping.
Yeah, no, he is Days of Our Lives. I thought he was Bold and the Beautiful.
I know he was.
So dumbass me.
But I'm glad you now feel better about it. So I told him I was going to bump because I want this out soon because I like to share it because I get these questions and I technically do work for the convention, but am not management or in any way, shape, or form make decisions about this. Jarrod has more than once told people, oh no, if you want a guest, you should tell Joe because I've bitched that I can't get the guest. I have nothing to do with that. Katrina, don't sit there silently.
She's all she's doing is stoking the fire for you, Joe.
I know. I don't get the guest. Thank you so much for your suggestion. Pass it on to management. Anyway,
by Joe, you did relay that Luis Guzman, right? You got that note. Yeah. Okay.
Right. Or the kerfluffle the other day of you all posting that secret Star Wars thing and everyone going, oh my God, it's Ewan McGregor.
Yeah, regrets on that one.
You took it down.
Yeah, well, so we were all sitting in the office together, and Lucas. So Lucas is like, "Oh, this is the perfect tease to announce Matthew Wood, announce Grievous," and everyone. We were gonna have Ewan McGregor, and I was like, "Well, we're gonna disappoint people. We just need to take that down."
I mean, 2 or 3 people were messaging me.
Well, I had people message me. They're like, did you get somebody big and not tell me? And I was like, oh no, this is taking a turn.
Yeah, it took a turn. And the Ewan McGregor thing took a turn. Now we don't have him. We would like to have him.
Would love it.
We would love to have him, but we don't have him. So let's get the controversial thing out of the way. Masks. So I'm dealing with this at my work. Chad, you work from home, so you don't have to deal with this as much, I'm assuming.
Correct.
It's literally ruined my day today. Actually, you are the highlight. You and putting my kid to sleep tonight are pretty much the highlights of my day. So masks are now recommended and not required.
Not required. Strongly recommended. And there will be guests that require you to wear them in their line.
Now let's talk about that. When we say guests will require, you have, once again, and that's the reason why I want this cleared up, Catrina, is to help you all. You have no control over guest requests.
No, we will do everything in our power to make the guests comfortable.
Right.
And if that includes asking people in their line to wear a mask, then that's what we will do.
Right. So there will be stars there who will want you to wear a mask, and you're going to have to wear the mask. Bring the damn mask.
Bring it with you. And if you don't have to wear it, great. But if someone asks you to, try not to be offended. You know, they want to do what's best for themselves.
And this is just me. But if you're coming to one of the panels, which I do the room for the panels, I just want to say,
you poop on the panels?
No, I do.
You said you do the rooms.
I do. Oh, Jesus.
Katrina, you might need to think about at least getting some depends on the scene for Joe.
Depends on the well, it depends on the scene. So back to what I was saying. I'm just going to throw out a suggestion. Okay. That's several hundred people in the room. Probably would do you no harm as a guest to wear a mask in there. You're not going to be taking pictures. You're going to be taking pictures of whomever is to the left of me, probably. Right? Yeah. And you don't need your mask off to do that.
And some guests will even ask that you don't take photos in their panels.
In their panels, which I will announce. So absolutely correct. Just throwing it out there. We may have some guests who want those masks on. So we will be letting you know that. But once again, this was a tough call. I completely support what you did, and I understand exactly why you did it.
It was a very tough call. Me and Jarrod have spent the last 48 hours since UK announced their change in policy.
How did you find out about that? Don't tell anybody.
I don't know. There's this guy, and he
don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is that I was hoping the policy wouldn't change for a while at my institution, but that's not this show. So anyway, I wanted to get that out of the way just so people know. We highly encourage you. And by we, Lexington Comic Con highly encourages you to wear your mask, bring your mask, and know that certain celebrities are going to make you wear that damn mask if you stand in their line. And I completely understand.
And even if you don't care about COVID, the con cred is real, and the mask will help you there.
That's true. Do you know I didn't Scarefest and Comic Con last fall? I didn't get the crud, and you know why?
Either.
You know why?
It was a nice change.
You know why? The mask.
That mask.
Masks. That's the reason why I didn't get it. I mean, even when we did Huntington last year, and I was really nervous because that was our first one back. I think we're all really nervous, but that Friday night I was really nervous till that. Do you remember when we were buying those drinks? The third one, yes. The nervous was gone when Katie was dancing and I was getting the money. You remember that? I was like, yes. Sure, I'll take a picture. That being said, I mean, just the mask. I agree with you about the con crud, and it is a thing. And when you put 30,000 people into a place, then that's what happens. There's a lot of germs that are spread.
Well, your little boy's in daycare. And before I worked for Jarrod at the stores, I worked in a daycare. And that's one thing you can guarantee is where there's one sickness, they will spread it. And it will
They'll absolutely spread it. My kid has given me everything he's ever gotten. Not his mom, but he's given it all to me. She'll get 1 in 3. I get everything. Chad, do you get everything from your kids?
God, I had so many wonderful stomach viruses that you wouldn't believe.
Yeah. He used to have hair. He threw it up. So now on to the next point I want to get to before we start talking about the guests. You and your team were kind enough, and we've already announced it on social media, but we're kind enough to give Bonehead Weekly another live show, which we did 2 years. Well, shit, Chad, it's 3 years now, isn't it? Damn, time, Jesus, 2 years of this pandemic. So we will be doing that Friday at 7. And here's the big news. We haven't let it out yet, but here, this is it. Catrina's got us Ron Perlman, John C. McGinley, and Giancarlo Esposito.
So for a moment, Joe had me, and I almost got excited, but then I heard Catrina laugh, and I'm like, oh, he's full of shit.
Completely full of shit.
I am trying to facilitate you guys having a pretty nice guest for your podcast.
Have you heard anything?
Not yet.
Damn.
I know.
I know. No, the one she's trying to get, I think Chad, Chad and I haven't really discussed it, but I was really stoked. I mean, I shouldn't say they may very well be one of the best character actors of all time, or at least in the top 10.
If it's the one you mentioned before, yes.
I will have to find time to sit in on this because he is one of my favorite actors.
And honestly, we're just waiting to see if it happens, because we have we've discussed many topics, but we've got to wait to see who the guest is depending on the topic. So now, that being said, I do have, and you said I can use these, right, from 2020? Mm-hmm. I've handed out a bunch of the Thursday nights. I was told to give those to people who won't buy a ticket. By God, I took that to heart.
Yes.
I have, if you're listening to this, several Friday night tickets. The only thing is that you have to, Chad, what do you think we should do? They have to attend Bonehead Weekly? Of course, we can't make them at gunpoint, but they have to go to the live show. But if they contact either me or you or James, we will get you your ticket and a ticket for a guest, but you have to get it to us pretty quick. And I've only got a few here. Catrina, maybe you can hook me up later.
I can make that happen.
Okay, thank you. So if you want to go to Bonehead Weekly live Friday night, we can definitely get you a ticket for Friday night, maybe,
and watch Joe poop all over the room.
Yes.
He will leave a solid turd on every seat in the room.
Yes. Now let's get that bullshit out of the way. Let's talk about some of the.
Oh, guests. You're going to do bullshit too.
Basically, let's talk about some of the guests. Who are you most excited about?
Ray Wise.
Yeah.
John McGinley, just because dealing with his agent and stuff, I think John's going to be just a phenomenal convention guest.
I can't wait to do his panel.
John C. McGinley is a huge get. Yeah,
he is a fantastic interview. I've spent the last 6 years researching, not knowing that I was researching, because I'm a big fan.
You guys will have fun because he is your last panel before the costume contest, and I purposely scheduled it so he can run over.
Yeah.
Because he loves his fans, and so that makes me really excited for the people attending.
Yeah, I agree. The other one for me is Giancarlo Esposito.
Yes.
Honestly, there between him, Ray Wise, and John
Ron
McGinley.
Perlman.
What'd you say?
Ron Perlman.
Well, but before we get to Ron Perlman, those other three, because Ron is past character actor to me now.
He is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The other three are three of the best character actors of all time.
Absolutely.
And if you've ever seen Giancarlo, I actually think he can do comedy, but we remember him now because of Breaking Bad, but you don't know that for 30 years you knew his face and didn't even know his face. He was in.
Yeah. He was in Do the Right Thing, for God's sakes.
Yeah. Right. Actually, it is my favorite Spike Lee film. What's better?
Oh man, I love Malcolm X. I love Inside Man, but Do the Right Thing in terms of social commentary is amazing.
Do the Right Thing, and then the Klansman one that came out.
The KKK clan, yeah.
Yeah, that one was pretty damn good. All right, sorry, we're getting off topic. So you, Ray Wise, Reaper.
I love Reaper.
So go ahead.
It was such a fantastic show that nobody watched.
Yeah.
I am so proud of it for making it to a couple of seasons, but I'm so sad that, I'll only have those couple of seasons to rewatch. And that's actually how I ended up watching Tucker and Dale versus Evil, which is one of my favorite movies.
But because Tucker and Dale versus Evil is amazing, the next person you need to get is Alan Tudyk.
Tried really hard. It was not for a lack of effort.
I know you did. Well, there's next year.
He's got those Disney dollars now, though.
I know.
But there's next year. He
Don't
does
worry, I won't quit
conventions, right?
asking. They'll keep
does
telling
con-
me no, but I'll keep asking.
He does conventions, right?
He does. He was in Cincinnati a few years ago. But he stays so busy and he just always has a project going on.
Right. So yeah, if you've never seen Reaper, let's talk about that for a second. So Chad, James, and I often argue about several things, but there's a few things that we all love. And actually Reaper is one of them. James, before he quit UK, had the poster on the back from when the show was canceled. It went to it was actual fear.net. They got the syndication rights and he got and then now it's actually a few. No one ever sees it because my door is always closed. But if you or is always open, but when you close it, my titles, but right there's a poster of Reaper behind the door. Because I don't know that. I mean, there's other people who played Satan that I enjoy, but I always think he's the best one.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's honestly it's between him and John Glover,
which is another great character actor.
Yeah.
You know who John Glover is? Because you need to
Yeah.
get him next year. I know. Now I'm starting to fanboy. I just want you to get people that I want to meet. So Ray Wise, Ron Perlman canceled a couple of years ago at the last moment. Now we've got him back.
Yes.
I've heard stories. I'm looking forward to the panel.
I'm looking forward to finally getting to sit down and meet him.
Yeah.
He seems like a trip.
Yeah.
Oh,
I love that you're saying it that way. No, and I'm curious to see if the stories are true or not, because I've heard positive and negative things. John McGinley, Giancarlo Esposito, who's someone else that we need to talk about that people are really excited about? Sorry.
I think people are really excited for the AEW people this year. So you have Britt Baker, Adam Cole, and Hangman Adam Page. So those three are both big name, or those three are all big names.
Well,
in
and we
AEW right now.
Yeah.
We also got to talk about comedy icon David Ketchner.
Yes.
Yeah. So is he going to get to do a panel, or we booked him too late?
Right now, I don't have a panel scheduled for him, but whispers of him doing a trivia night somewhere.
Ooh.
So keep an eye out. He might be planning a trivia night.
Well, that's cool. I mean, he was on, other shows, but he was on The Office. And I'm telling you, one of the biggest damn rooms I ever did was that Office panel a few years ago. It was crazy. And it was the first time at my, as I always say, this is like my other life, but in my regular life that pays the mortgage, it was the first time that I had people coming up to me and going, and I'm actually not making this up. My doctor even said, you do those Comic-Cons, right? Not Comic-Con, but Comic-Cons. And or people going, hey, can you get me to see the Office people? I mean, the people that wouldn't normally go to the Comic-Con were so stoked about that. Asking me for tickets, seeing if they could meet them, and things that I could never do.
But they were great in the panel. Like
well, the fire alarm went off. And they handled it like we all handled it like pros. Yeah, no, they were great and they were wonderful to meet, and they were all down to earth and we all had a really good time. No, they were a lot of fun. All right. So Chad, do you have Catrina, maybe you have the list up. Let me pull it up for Comic-Con because I'm now forgetting who I wanted to talk about. What?
We also have Chris Sabat and Sean Schimmel, so DBZ and My Hero Academia.
Yep.
Voice actors.
Yeah, so my someone else who wanted to go, who's taking their teenage daughter to the Demon Slayer panel.
Yes.
And they asked me if I was doing it, and I said, yeah, it's in the room. Yeah, it's something I need to familiarize myself with.
I'll be honest, Lucas is all things. He's my anime guy. So if I have a question about anime actors or anything like that, I'm like, hey Lucas, what is this?
There's just too much to consume.
There is. I've taken up too much space in my head with Aquaman and soap operas. I haven't been able to adopt anime.
Is it Aquaman or just Jason Momoa?
No,
I know.
Jason Momoa is great, but he's not my Aquaman.
So, question: Are you excited to meet Matt Latner then?
I am.
He did he was the voice of Aquaman in some of the DC animated movies. So
I'm excited about that.
All right. I had a guy who's a friend of mine who was 60 something the other day asking me all about the chips, folks.
Yes. Eric Estrada, Larry Wilcox, and Robert Pine.
I know. He really was really excited.
Good.
I know. And I was like, good for you. I'm old, but I'm not. I mean, I watched the show, but I don't quite have the same connection to it. Now,
I watched it a lot when I was younger, so I definitely have a connection to chips.
yeah. So one of the nicest people whom I had no idea was going to be this nice and that we were going to accidentally hit it off and just talk before we went on the panel, so much so that he was late getting on the panel, was Theo Rossi about 3 years ago. And what had happened was, what'd you say?
Such a nice guy.
Yeah, that was my experience. And it was genuine.
Yes.
It was a genuine conversation of, he asked me something. I said, Joe Louis. And I always make the joke. He was like, Joe Louis. And anybody who does that boxing thing, I always go, yeah, I know you're over 40. And then we started talking about boxing. And he knew, of course, heaps and tons more than I did. But I knew a lot about boxing movies. And that's where it led into. And he was asking me about this and this. And we started going back and forth. And people are waiting outside. No one wants the fat guy behind the scenes just to hold up Theo Rossi behind. But we were just having a good conversation. I was trying to wrap it up, but he was genuinely nice. And most of the people, this is my experience. I don't think I've ever talked to you about this. Not when people ask me what it's like with celebrities, I always say it's just like normal people. 90% of them are great or fine, no problem. 10% are assholes.
Yeah, I'd say that's a pretty accurate description.
Just like everyone else.
Yeah.
90% are, oh, hey, how are you? Then 10% are, ooh, this is tough.
Yep.
Agents are different, but for celebrities, I'm assuming the agent is a little bit more 60-40 on that asshole thing.
I am very lucky, and all of the agents that we deal with, I appreciate them, and I do genuinely like them.
Chad, are you excited about Mina Savari?
Oh yes, very much.
I'm sorry, I caught Chad by surprise.
No, you paused, and I was sitting here waiting, going, "What is he saying?"
Well, it's just American Beauty is one of my favorite films. I haven't seen it.
As it is mine. I also love Slum of Beverly Hills, and
yeah,
she's a great actress. So yeah, I would love to meet her.
Cheryl Lee is another one. So are you a huge do you like Twin Peaks, Catrina?
I like it, but it's been a long time since I've watched it, and I need to rewatch it because I don't think I paid enough attention the first round.
Well, that's okay. I like Twin Peaks. I know Chad likes parts of Twin Peaks.
Mm-hmm.
I actually even like the reboot series that everybody kind of crapped on. I actually enjoyed it, but
I didn't watch the reboot.
That's okay. It was fun. My problem is when we get to those panels and it's not a problem. So this is how it works. I'll do research. I'll have, if you've ever noticed if you actually look at the pen and paper that I'll carry with me, there's 10 or 20 questions for every one of those. And you always pray to God you never need them. You only want, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because if I have to ask 10 or 20, that audience is dead and no one's having a good time. I only need 1 or 2 to prime the pump and then let it go and then keep them on track and then add and interject as you go. So between that one and the other one is, what question has Ron Perlman never been asked? I can't ask him a Hellboy question. He gets it every 30 seconds. When's Hellboy 3 coming out? Are you going to do Hellboy 3? Did you like being Hellboy? How was Hellboy?
Yeah, I mean, you move on past Hellboy, then you go on to Sons of Anarchy or Beauty and the Beast, and what questions are left?
Or his work with Jean-Pierre Jeunet and early work with Guillermo del Toro, like Kronos.
I plan on asking him a City of Lost Children question because it's one of my favorite movies, but most people don't know what the hell that is. Have you ever sat through any of these panels? I usually have an obscure question to start with.
I don't know if I've ever been able to sit through
only
I popped my head in.
Jarrod sat through one at Scarefest.
I'm proud of him.
What?
I'm proud of him.
I have no idea. Oh yeah, and at the end he made some smart ass comment. That's the only time I ever known him to ever see him at any of those things.
And the Sherilyn Flynn panel is going to be all about boxing Helena and Fatal Instinct.
Do you even know what either of those two movies are, Catrina?
Fatal Instinct sounds familiar, but
go ahead, Chad.
It's a parody of all those high tension
Basic Instinct.
Basic Instinct, Fatal Attraction, directed by the great Carl Reiner. So you have to, you would have to bring that up just to talk about her experience with Carl Reiner, who is a legend.
Right. All right. So
and I'm assuming you don't know Boxing Helena, right?
Mm-mm.
You don't want to.
It's all right.
Don't look that one. Got it.
So I promised you I wouldn't keep you on here more than 30 minutes to an hour. And we've been going about 40 minutes now. I'm curious because we went over the guests. Is there anything you want to say about the schedule? Is there anything you want people to remember? I have a few things.
So a big thing this year is we will be handing out schedules, but our app isn't going to be live this year.
Oh, really?
Yep. There was a technical issue and they're not going to have it produced in time for the event. So definitely check the schedule online.
Mm-hmm.
And keep a mental note. And then, of course, we'll have printed versions. We'll have signs outside of the panel rooms with the schedule. And the photo ops people always keep a TV with a running schedule on it. But that is very important this year. We will not have the app, which has been very helpful in the past.
So what I thought and found last year, and this isn't a complaint to you anyway, it's just the way the convention center is set up, is that for some odd reason, they had to go around the wall to do the panels before in the old convention center. And they just were having a hard, I don't know if it's just because they have a hard time or what, but moving from that top floor to the next floor to get to the panels, they just weren't as packed as they usually are.
Okay. So we definitely need to make sure you come to the front, grab the microphone, and announce the panels.
Jarrod usually has that microphone walking around. It's not me.
No, it's wired now. No one can walk around with it. You'll have to come visit it.
You're wired? I thought they were supposed to upgrade.
They only let us have the wired one this year.
In all fairness, if you weren't shitting all over the place, Joe,
whatever.
They have to keep you maintained.
45 minutes. Oh, you mean actual literally shitting? That's true. Well, let me tell you, the Supernatural panel and that one guy, that hunky guy from the Green Arrow, nobody had a problem finding those two.
Yeah.
No one, especially a lot. And this is going to sound sexist. I don't mean for it to. Catrina, the ASL interpreter, will back me up. A lot of the ladies were able to get in those first few rows to the Green Arrow, and it wasn't a problem.
He was great. Like he was great to meet. I met him at the beginning of the day, and before he got ready to leave in the evening, he said, "Hey, thanks, Catrina." And I went, "Oh my goodness, you remembered my name. Thank you." Because normally it's like, "Thanks, girl, that don't remember. I've seen you around here all weekend. You seem important."
Well, he was nice, but it wasn't, we didn't talk, like sometimes we'll hit it off and there'll be a conversation afterwards, or there's a conversation right before. He was very nice. We just didn't talk, other than you could see what the second or third time he mentioned he was happily married.
Yeah. But he stayed busy. He was good.
Oh, I bet he stayed busy. All right. I bet he stayed busy. I've been through some popular ones, but that one,
ladies love Casey Jones. Not so much Arrow.
I guess
he was Casey Jones in the Turtles movie.
Well, and we had Raphael too. So we had Alan Richardson.
Yeah, who's now in, by the way, the best Jack Reacher ever. If you all have not seen,
I haven't watched it.
Oh my God.
No.
He puts Tom Cruise to shame.
Well, Tom Cruise is 5'2", and Jack Reacher in the books is like 6'6". He's actually taller than the actor now playing it.
Yeah,
he's still in the book bigger.
But man,
I've been told. I've never read one.
Yeah,
he was phenomenal in Reacher.
Is it
I
really
loved
that
it.
good?
Man,
It really is.
I marathoned it in 3 days.
All right, I'll check it out. I just
I
haven't
turned on episode 1 and didn't quit till I finished it. So
I
You
have
have
two
one of those jobs where you can do that. Plus,
Yeah.
you don't have kids yet.
no kids yet. So I just that was my Saturday. I was just like, I'll watch this first episode. The entire day gone.
I can't do that. Chad, how did Chad do it in 3 days?
A couple of nights of insomnia.
I was about to say, I don't know how you did it in 3 days. It's everything I can do to get in the 2 episodes every week of Mrs. Maisel. Which probably says a lot about me, but I really like that show. So, what are some? So we've talked about that. What is something else? Anything else you want everybody to remember now that they're coming?
Now that they're coming.
Now that we're having it, and there's no coronavirus. Keep going. Sorry.
Come enjoy yourself and be kind to one another. Everybody's there to have fun.
Yeah. So I'm going to say just one thing, and this isn't. I'm not trying to make anybody mad, but come have a good time. Hygiene.
Wash your hands.
Wash other things before you come to. Before you get to the convention center. That's not for everyone. And I know that's a stereotype, but I've done a lot of these. Just that one thing. And you're right. Be patient. The lines are going to be, especially Saturday. It's going to be crowded, but it's a good time. Just come hang out. Come
once you get in, you all, it's literally just a mecca of geekness and everything you ever dreamed of as a child.
Yeah.
And we're not only just talking about the celebrities. Go to the booths, see the sellers, see the vendors.
Yes.
Everything's amazing. Every year I go, they manage to get money out of me. I know I'm in a dark room, but there is a nice cabinet behind me that is filled with a lot of stuff that I have had from Comic Con.
I don't believe a word of this. I never seen him buy a damn thing.
Honestly, I usually wait till the last day where I can find a great deal. My Crazy Larry from the Muppets is up there. I got it for a good deal.
This is a true story. Every year I promise myself that the last few hours and the way the panel schedule is with Sunday, it's going to be tough, but I'm always tell myself that last day on that Sunday, I'm going to have an hour or two. I'm going to go buy myself something ridiculous on the floor. I have yet to do it. Last year I had more time in Huntington because I was staying in Huntington, because here, the house is here, but in Huntington I was staying. There's nowhere for me to go. I ended up buying the kids something. What were you going to say, Catrina?
There's on that vendor floor, there is something for everyone.
Yeah,
I agree.
If you can walk the entire floor and not buy something, I need to learn your self-control, because I'll leave that vendor floor with so much random stuff that I didn't know I needed. But
the last one, I'm sorry, Catrina, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
No, the last Comic Con I went, it was the first one I took to my kids, and they are dying to go this year. And within 10 minutes, I was spending money.
Oh yeah.
Are you going to go down Thursday? Thursday's a good day. If you've got kids and you don't want to go through the crowd, I definitely suggest Thursday for some of the folks listening. I did that last year with my kid. It's simply because it's just tough to have him down there with the panels. It was easier when he was 1 or 2, but now in a couple of years, I'll take him everywhere. He'll be old enough to where he'll go off with his little iPad, and that'll be the end of it. But Thursday's a good night for kids if you want to just walk around and shop. The party is Saturday night. We have DJ set up most of the weekend, correct?
DJs all weekend. Friday they're going to do a Pokemon party.
Yeah.
The Orcs and DJ team, they're hosting a Pokemon party.
What time is that? Is it after the furries?
I think it's about 9 p.m. And then Saturday,
special guest star on Boathead Weekly, furries. Keep going.
Saturday is Freddy and the Kruegers. It wouldn't be Lexington without them.
I agree. They were great though in Huntington that Friday night.
They were.
Was it Saturday? Now I'm confused. I can't remember if it was Friday or Saturday.
That was too many months ago, Joe.
I know, it was last June. But they're a great 80s cover band. Fantastic. Come down, have some drinks, enjoy yourself, get some food, enjoy Lexington, enjoy downtown Lexington, go have dinner and come back, especially if you're coming Saturday. There's so many events. We have panels Friday starting at 2 or 3 o'clock. which means I have to take a vacation day Friday. We have panels starting at 2 or 3 o'clock, and then we've got panels all day Saturday and Sunday. Thursday night's a great time if you want to come by, look through, because there'll be shit that'll be sold Thursday, and you think,
if you're a comic guy, comic guys go Thursday.
Yeah, because a lot of things, Chad's right. It's probably a good thing to go Sunday, but a lot of that stuff it doesn't go. It goes. It doesn't last till Sunday. Yeah. And if it's something you think is amazing, it probably won't be there Sunday. Because people come and they come to buy. All right. So come to the panels, go to the after parties, see some celebrities, get some photo ops. All that's on the website, all the autograph prices, all the photo ops, it's all on the website, correct?
Not autograph prices.
Okay, so here, let me give you if you're listening to this, if you're listening to Bonehead, you probably have been to a convention or two, but most of our people have. I used to think $20 was astronomical back in the day before I did this, and it's a lot higher than that now for most people.
I always tell everybody, estimate between 30 to 120 depending on the person.
Yeah, Chuck Norris was 100, right?
Yeah, I think it was 100 for a signature, but if you wanted it personalized, I think it was another few dollars.
I didn't even know that. I don't know. I got to sit next to him. It was great, and I didn't have to pay for that.
I got a photo op with him, but that was the most interaction I had with him, was like a 3-second photo, and it's like, all right, thank you, bye.
Well, that's cool. At least you got the photo op.
I did. I'm very lucky to have that one.
He was very nice to me.
He was a nice guy.
He was a nice guy. It was a nice guy. So we could sit here and talk about, well, you know what? I will ask you one last question before we go. Now that we've talked about the convention, what is your favorite part of doing this?
Gosh.
Yes.
Favorite part, the end of the weekend, there's usually you get a handful of people that walk up to you and tell you that this was the highlight of their year. It is for a lot of people. It's a highlight of the year. They had so much fun. They're so thankful we put this on, and that makes it worth it, because the goal every year is to have something for everyone.
Yeah.
So when people come up and appreciate the work you've put into it, it makes it worth it.
You guys do a really good job with that. And I'm not just blowing smoke because I worked there. You really do.
Thank you. We try.
No, you do. And before we go, what's the worst experience ever doing it? Are you going to tell me? Can we get it out of you? Damn. Just a tidbit. Can you give me one bad one that you can tell and leave the names out?
No, I'll keep that one. I'll tell you one time when we're together.
You'll tell me off the record if I had a quarter for every time someone goes. And Chad will back me up on this. So if you've ever been listening to Bonehead, and we've had directors and writers and whatever, and you thought, oh, geez, I can't believe they got that out of them. When we stop recording, Chad, how much shit have we heard?
It's a very interesting conversation.
It is 10 times worse than what they let out on the show.
Oh, yeah.
And that's when the names start dropping, right, Chad?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's
when you know who's bad.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we know. We know. And we're nobody. We're not even anywhere near the business. And we know. Like that son of a bitch can't work in this town, piece of shit. Right, Chad?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, we've had some wonderful stories that no one else has heard. And we're always like, you could have told that on the show. Nope, we're not telling it. No. All right. Well, I'm going to stop record. Thank you so much, Catrina, for taking the time and talking to us about this. I hear that you and I will be hanging out for some more interviews as this comes in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, I've strong-armed you into
strong-arm me. All you did was, will you do it? And I went, yeah. I
was prepared to strong-arm you.
Why?
Because I hate interviews.
I'm easy. All right. I'm going to push record. Thank you so much, Catrina.
You're going to hit record. I thought you were going to hit stop.
Stop. I'm fucking tired. This has been Bonehead Weekly.